Good morning, everyone. I welcome you to the Tumwater Public Works Committee meeting for Thursday, June 6, 2024. And in attendance, we have my Councilmember Althauser and myself, Councilmember Swarthout. And we're hoping that Councilmember Jefferson will be joining us soon. First action item would be to approve the minutes from the May 9th, 2024 and the May 23rd, 2024 meeting. So do we?
So moved.
So moved. Second. And those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right. So we passed the minutes. Now we don't know who's going to be next. We have the first on the agenda is the authority to solicit bids and recommend award for the Linwood Avenue sidewalk Susitna Lane and to Second Avenue project. And who's up? It's Bill. Take it away, Bill.
All right. So I think I'm on board.
It's you.
Yeah, I think I'm on board for today. So do you want me to go ahead and get into it?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. Let's see. Whoops. Okay, I'm sorry. I have to move a screen here. Move this one down. Okay, there we go. Sorry, I had some word pop up on my screen. Okay, let's see. There we go. All right, are we all good?
Let's see it.
All right, very good. So, good morning, council members. So this morning we'll be talking to you about the Linwood Avenue sidewalk Susitna Lane to Second Avenue project, and we're going to be asking to solicit for bids for this project. And I wanted to start by talking a little bit on the background of the project. Let's see. So from a project planning standpoint, this project is both on the CFP and it's also listed on the STIP. We did get funding from TIB, so I'll talk about that here in a little bit. The main project goals of the project are to provide multimodal improvements for this area. It's along, like I said, along Linwood. That would be for bike mobility, pedestrian mobility, and also some traffic calming and safety features for this area. And then the last part of that would be a roadway maintenance component to kind of upgrade the roadway a little bit. It's in poor condition in some locations. So as far as an overall project view, as you can see here, there's Susitna to the west. That's Linwood is the main road, and then Second Avenue to the east. And so most of our project is limited to the Linwood corridor. We are doing a little bit of work like up G Street for the curb returns. And then when we hit roads like 7th Avenue and 6th Avenue, we're doing some pavement improvements up north a little bit, or I'm sorry, sidewalk improvements up north to kind of get that pedestrian continuity that we're going to be looking for on this project for pedestrian routing. One thing to note on this exhibit here is that this project is adjacent to Michael T. Simmons Elementary, the Tumwater School District, and also the North End Fire Station. So those are our primary kind of impact components to the project.
Can I ask a question about the photo, Bill?
Absolutely.
So the pink on the left by Lake Park, I think that's Lake Park Drive, where you start seeing all the trees there.
Yes.
It's unlabeled, but I think that's Lake Park Drive. So the
Yes.
pink there to the left, that's all new sidewalk, right? There's no sidewalk there currently, but most of the rest of this, I think, does have sidewalk, but we're doing mostly improvements and ADA. Is that right?
Yeah, we're doing a lot of infill. We are building some new sidewalk in some locations, and you are correct that that portion of the sidewalk on the south side, west of Lake Park Drive is a new portion of sidewalk that wasn't there before.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
So as far as the overall roadway improvements, just generally what we're doing, we're going to be doing an asphalt grind and inlay of the whole roadway, and also fixing distressed areas within the road that need to be. So that's probably kind of the maintenance side of the project. Then we're doing the sidewalk reconstruction. So most of it's a reconstruction of failing sidewalk or sidewalk that doesn't meet ADA compliance, or poor driveways and sidewalk ramps, and then some portions of new sidewalk, like I said, to maintain that full continuity for pedestrians through the project site. So that was one of the main goals of this project, was good pedestrian and bicycle routing through this area, mostly because of the school. So that's kind of the trigger, or the concept was to provide good ability for people to walk to and from the school. We're doing the curb bulb outs at the different locations, different intersections, and that's kind of where the curb comes out from the normal curb, and that serves a number of different functions. It's a traffic calming component. It can help slow speeds down, especially when people are making turns at intersections. And it also provides a little bit of protection for on-street parking at the intersection locations. Lake Park Drive intersection improvements. Lake Park Drive comes up from the south and ties into Linwood at a pretty severe angle. So it's not a perpendicular connection. So one of the things we're going to try to do is straighten that out a little bit. We can't do it completely, but we're going to try to straighten it out a little, so that it's a little more favorable for drivers when they approach Linwood to be able to make a left or a right. So we're going to be using channelization and some curbing to kind of straighten that out just a little bit as far as the approach. Some minor storm drainage improvements, adding some storm drainage enhancements, and then obviously upgrading any surface iron, the grates and things like that within the project limits. Reinstallation of all the surface iron with our concrete collars, so that those things can last over time, and then pavement markings and select signage throughout the project. So overall, the project's a pretty straightforward project. It's kind of a pseudo maintenance project, along with some new sidewalk components and better striping for the project overall. Some of the considerations on this project to think about: the project does have a lot of traffic, so that's something we have to contend with on this project. And we also have the close proximity of the elementary school, the fire station, and also the different neighborhoods around the area. So that kind of morphs into our traffic control thought process on this project. The plan of action on the project, or what we're going to be conveying to the contractor, is to work a lot of one lane closures on either the north or the south side, and for the sidewalk work, and the work along the edge of the roadway to try to finish that up, and maintain 2-lane traffic. So there's enough room to get 3 lanes through. So we would close like the north lane off, and then have 2-way traffic. There are times when we're going to be dealing with 1 lane alternating on this road, when we construct like the curb bulb outs and things like that. So there will be times of 1 lane alternating. And then the paving operation, we're thinking, is going to be a 1 lane alternating project, probably 1 day. But the paving would probably be 1/2 of the roadway at a time. So it'll be like the north side and then the south side.
Can I ask a
Go
question
ahead.
about that, Bill? When we do 1 lane alternating, that means we have a flagger involved, right? So with let's say there's 1 lane alternating in front of the fire station. is there like a method of communication from the fire station to the flagger to say, hey, you need to cut off traffic so the engine can get out and we can move the apparatus to a place of need, or, respond to a call? Or how do those systems kind of interact to make sure that the engine can get out onto one lane if that has to be one lane over by the fire station?
Yeah, that's actually that's a very common situation with flaggers, and it generally breaks down to the idea that any emergency vehicle has full priority through the construction site, no matter what. So it would be very similar to how we dealt with Israel Road, where the contractor is and the city is talking to the fire station about the days that will be in place. And then that coordination is direct with the contractor, so they know how to deal with it, to maintain the fire access. And we did really for Israel Road, it went really smoothly, and there was a lot of complication with that project. So it's really just communication, so the flaggers know in the field that can happen, and they need to account for it when it does.
Great, thank you.
So that's very well coordinated each time. So I wanted to just mention just quickly on the public notification. I can say that our public notification process is getting better and better over time. I think we're spending more time trying to make sure that everybody knows what's going on. In this particular case, we've already spoken with the school, and I don't know if we've reached out too much to the neighborhoods yet, but we will here very shortly. But especially fire and school, we've had meetings with them. They know exactly what's going on. They don't know what time because we haven't set a bid date, but they're aware of it. We also have the issue of the school opening, which I think is around September 6th or in that time frame. So we're hoping to have a majority of the work completed before school opens. But again, that's a coordination item that they're aware of. And we also have on this project, we have kind of, it's not unique, but there are a number of property owners along this project area that have personal items within the city right of way. So there'd be things like, small fences, plants, other things that they've over time installed in the right of way that we need that area to do our work. So one of the things that we have done on this project is we've identified all of those impacts, and we're actually reaching out to each one of those property owners to explain to them exactly what's going on, what we're going to try to do to mitigate it, make sure that it works out for them. So that's a challenging job because it goes with coordination and timing to get a hold of a property owner, but we're making really good progress on that, just letting them know what's going on, so that we don't have anybody becoming upset because their plants or something are being something like that. So as far as project overview from a cost standpoint, we're looking at an estimated construction cost range of $1,150,000 to $1,450,000. That's just our general range. Our funding is coming from the Transportation Improvement Board. That's the $371,250 for fuel tax under the fuel tax agreement portion of TIB's funding. There is also another 22,000, I think 500 under design for this project. So we got that amount for design, Transportation Benefit District, and then the Transportation CFP. And I think on this one, it's probably going to be split about half between those two by the time we're all said and done. The anticipated construction schedule looks like we're bidding in June of 2024. So we're bidding hopefully this month within the next couple of weeks. Probably do about a 2 week bid period, maybe 3. Construction will start probably around mid-July through October. And then substantially complete with construction in October. So I kind of stretched that out a little bit, but I do think that the majority of the work more than likely can be completed in August. That's usually the month that most contractors jump on it and try to finish as much as they can, just weather. And then our estimated construction working days is around 45 for this project. And I think that's about all that I had. Did anybody have any questions that they'd like to ask?
Michael, do you have more? Another?
I think I asked all mine already.
Okay.
Thank you.
I was just curious, on the part from Lake Park to Susitna Lane, that's all on the tree side. I was just curious, it doesn't seem like there's any land over there. It seems like it drops off. So in that area, having run that many times.
Yeah, you are correct. There is a
Okay.
right now there's like a 1 foot asphalt shoulder, and then there's
Mhm.
2 or 3 feet kind of a flat area, and then it does go into a slope. So what I can mention is that we're fully aware of that from a design perspective.
Mhm.
And there are a few of those older maples along that area that may be affected. However, we're working directly with planning department on that, whether we have to remove any of those trees and if we need to replace. Well, it'll probably be a 1-to-1 replacement. Is probably how we'll deal with that.
I was just curious why we didn't select the other side of the street. Is it
It has both
hard to get right away?
Yeah, both sides of the street have grading issues. So it
Mhm.
was just kind of picking one or the other. It just seemed like it was more reasonable
Yeah.
on the south side. And
So just seeing
eventually,
as a runner, gonna have to cross the
Event-
street.
yeah,
Have to
eventually
run
over
across. Yeah.
eventually over time, it'll, as things progress, it'll eventually be sidewalks on both sides. So
Well,
that's
I appreciate the efforts because it's a little dicey in there when you're trying to run or walk through there. It gets a little narrow, and then when you get to Susitna, then all the people park their cars in the there where you think you could walk in the bike lane or whatever, the bump out part, and the cars are there, so it makes it really interesting. So trying to get past that. So
Yeah, we're
that
hoping
area,
with
but
we're hoping with the channelization and things that'll stop some of that
mhm,
people parking where they're not supposed to in that area.
mhm. Okay. Well, it looks good. Well, we've been talking about this for a while, so it's nice to see that it's coming to fruition. So that we're going to be working on this. This is great.
Yeah, I mean, like combined with the improvements to Second Avenue, it's going to really improve the ability to get to the school if you're doing it by foot or by bike, really
Mhm.
significantly. So a lot of kids living on Tumwater Hill will be able to, sixth graders maybe, be able to ride their bikes or walk to school maybe.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. All right. So I can go ahead and read the recommended action. We have the staff requests the Public Works Committee authorize staff to 1, solicit bids for the Linwood Avenue sidewalk, Susitna, I can't talk this morning, lane to Second Avenue project, and 2, recommend City Council award and authorize the mayor to sign a public works contract with the lowest responsible bidder and place on the June 25th, 2024 City Council consent calendar with a recommendation to approve and authorize the mayor to sign.
Moved.
So move and second. All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, Bill, one more project this summer. Woohoo.
Yes. Thank you.
You bet. All right, Dan, we're up.
Good morning, folks. You got the B team for this one, unfortunately, this morning. Meredith is out on a family emergency, and Chuck was unavailable for this morning's meeting. So this is actually a golf course project. You've seen this one before. The ask before you is really kind of a time extension on the grant that we have. This grant covers the stormwater facilities portion of the overall golf course parking lot kind of reconstruction and update and improvement for the golf course down there. And so really what we're asking for is an extension from January 31st of this year. So we're a little bit behind, but that's okay because ecology has already granted the extension. We're just now just need to process it through. And that the grant would now close out next October. And this is really to kind of help better align the project for parks needs and their construction window for when they're going to work on this next season. So as I mentioned, this again covers the stormwater portion of it. The golf course had a number of catch basins that discharge directly to the Deschutes River, and this will provide some treatment so we can rectify that. And this also helps satisfy the Salmon Safe certification that the Water Resource Department helped golf course achieve. And I believe that's also up for renewal this year. And so later this year, early next year, we'll be bringing a recertification back to the committee as well for Salmon Safe. And so far, all things are looking good. And that's really all I got for you. If you got any questions.
Let's see.
Okay.
No, pretty
Go
standard.
ahead, Michael.
I don't have any questions.
Oh, really? Okay. Let's see. I think I do, but I'm trying looking at this. So, sorry, now we're still just in the design process again. You have to remind me so that we haven't gone out to bid yet or anything else like that, right? So
Yes, this hasn't
we're
gone
not
out to
even
bid
close to
or
right?
that. Still kind of finalizing the review, the final design and permitting. And so this will give us a little bit more time to complete that work. And then construction will be next summer.
Oh, next summer. Okay.
Mhm.
All right. And then I noticed the other day that they're punching the road from Capitol Boulevard down to that drive now. I could
The Water Valley Drive?
finally. Yeah. That's it looks like that they're. That's going to be interesting in the wintertime. So,
Right.
so, yeah, we're providing a sliding hill for the kids at the daycare. Just kidding. Anyway, yeah, it's a lot of action happening over there then. I'm glad we're doing this. All right, well, this one's pretty cut straight and straightforward. So we do have an action in front of us to place the golf course stormwater retrofit grant agreement with Department of Ecology Amendment 1 on the July 2nd, 2024 City Council consent calendar with a recommendation to approve and authorize the mayor to sign. Okay.
So moved.
Okay, second. All right, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, with that, it is passed.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you. And we have now come to the end of our agenda. If there's no additional items, I don't think so. Everybody I'm covering here? Nope. All right. Well, I will call the Thursday, June 6, 2024 Tumwater Public Works meeting adjourned, and go out and enjoy the sunshine today, everybody. Take care.
See ya.